Welcome to An Architect and a DJ Build a Home podcast. I'm the DJ.
And I'm the architect. Welcome. In today's episode, we have a guest with us,
Yes, we
Barbara.
do.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And Barbara is an architect. She practices not like me, but she's actively practicing, and she works a lot with individuals who are building their own home. You are most welcome
Thank you
to
very
our
much.
home and the show.
Yes. But before we get into the reason why Barbara is here and
Yeah.
before we get into the show, we always have like a music based quiz. And today, Barbara, I want to find out from you, do you have a favorite song?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so can you give us a clue without telling us the name of the song? Can you give us a clue to what this song is?
Okay, so the song is done by Tracy Chapman,
Okay.
and a clue to the title perhaps would be A Man After God's Own Heart.
Okay.
Something related to that.
To A Man After God's Own Heart.
Yes.
So the clue is the song is by Tracy Chapman,
Yeah.
and the title of the song is related to a man after God's own heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, see if you can figure out what that song is, and let us know on our social media.
Yes, we'll be putting the answer out on our Instagram page. That's at home_build_Zambia.
Lots of underscores.
Yes. So we can get into the show.
Yes.
Okay, so we've explained to our listeners that this entire season is about where do you start when you want to build your own home. And it's a complex process. There's so much that's happening, and we thought we'd invite Barbara as our expert for the day to just give her perspective from the work that she does as an architect. And to start the show off, maybe you can explain to us what it is that you do exactly. Like, if somebody was to come to you as an architect, they're building their home, they're just starting, how is it that you can help them? What is it that you do exactly?
Okay, so I am an architect practicing, as Mphangela said, and I do mostly domestic residential design. So I deal a lot with individual clients. And the first step that I take before we go into the work is to understand what the client really wants.
Yeah.
I allow them the freedom to express themselves as much as possible in as much detail as they can. In some instances, I'll let them send me pictures of what they're dreaming of, just so that I can put a picture to what they're looking for.
Okay.
We have an engagement process where they write me a brief of what they want. I try to interpret the brief in as much detail as possible, and then send it back to them to agree whether that is actually speaking to what they want to do. I'll then define the terms and conditions under which we are going to do the work, and we start the design.
Yeah.
Usually, some will come with ideas. Most will just give you a gist of what rooms they want and how they want the rooms to sit. So I create the design and throw it back to them to review, and then send it back, and then we take it on to detailing and other aspects of the work.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like what caught my attention. Okay, there's so many things that caught my attention from what you said, but the part about you said you define the terms and conditions.
Yes.
Why is it necessary that that's done?
I think it's very important because most times when clients are coming, they have an idea, especially in this day and age when a lot of people are building, and many people just set out to build. They have no understanding of what they're getting into, and they also don't know what to expect from an architect, even when they're coming. So the terms and conditions kind of define the boundaries within which we are going to operate when we are doing that project, or when we go through the process of designing and building. sometimes the expectations are a little higher than you would like. So you want to just kind of guide
them,
on
yes.
what they should really expect.
Okay.
And I must say that this, if you don't, it comes back to bite you, because there are difficult clients
Yeah.
who at a later stage will come and say, no, but you didn't do this.
Yeah.
And you have to refer back to
Yeah.
the terms so that they then understand why you
Why.
didn't do that, because you actually told them what they should expect. I actually spell it out
Yeah.
line by line what the output of the work will be.
Okay.
And I should tick those lines by the end of the project.
Yeah.
And the client should know. And it's not something created by me. It's something that is, I belong to an institute, the Zambia Institute of Architects, which guides the practice of an architect.
Yeah.
So I should also be aligned with that guide. And if they wanted, they could go and consult another architect and see, is this what I should be getting? Is this a good deal, or
Yeah.
am I shortchanged?
Yeah.
So that when I spell out the terms and conditions, they should also be aligned to what any other architect would be able to give them.
Okay.
I'm not going to offer services of things that are outside of my practice jurisdiction as an architect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you mentioned that part of your process is to educate the client. From your experience, maybe you could just explain what are some of the misconceptions
Yes.
that people have about working with an architect.
I think the most misunderstood, the most, how do I say this? Not the most misconception. Yeah, the most
is hard.
misunderstood part of what the architect should do
Yes.
is really the extent to which your architect should be involved in your work.
Yeah.
There are a lot of players in the construction industry and in the design of a house.
Yeah.
I'll take two scenarios. If you are doing a one-level building,
Yes.
the architect will probably carry you through the entire design process.
Yes.
But it's not their responsibility to give you costings for that
Yes.
house. My job is to design and specify.
Yes.
Yeah.
The quantity surveyor should then be able to pick my specification and cost them and give the client the cost. The one question I get almost all the time is, are you also going to do bills of quantities? And I wish people could know that it's not the role of an architect to do bills of quantities. There's somebody that is trained to do the
do that.
bills of
To do
quantities.
bills of quantities.
But the expectation is that you would do bills of quantities.
I can tell that you've experienced this a lot.
And it's a lot.
It's a pain.
It's almost like
all the time.
I've rehearsed the answer and I know what to say all the time, because it's a
Yes.
question that comes all the time.
So perhaps, sorry to cut you short, perhaps you can tell us, so you're explaining to us that it's a team effort. It's not something that for a certain level of design, you definitely need other professionals. So in the example you've given of an architect and a quantity surveyor, how would you work with a quantity surveyor to help an individual get the house that they want?
So ideally,
Especially at the start of the process.
ideally what should happen is the client should have a team of professionals they're going to work with on hand. What that does is I always request that my clients give me any associated professionals if I do not recommend those professionals, if they have their own, which they're at liberty to do. They should then give me access to them so that we go through the design together. What normally happens is the client will leave your office and then go to the QS's office without your knowledge. And the QS will then be interpreting your design without your input.
Yes.
And the client sometimes is not competent enough to explain the design to the QS because there are some details that maybe may be a little bit difficult to specify. And I'll say this because it ultimately impacts on the construction cost for the client.
Yes.
If, say, for example, I have put an I-beam as a decorative feature, it's still going to be a cost.
Yes.
But most often than not, the QS will miss that out and they'll give them the costing for everything else. So when they go on site, you find that the cost of that I-beam was omitted, and
omitted.
it then becomes more expensive for a
Yes.
client. The bill is less than what the client expected to pay. Moreover, you want to just counter check because you are the creator of that project. So whoever is coming in to work on that project should start with you.
Yes.
And understand what your thinking process was, how we are going to do it, understand the detailing.
Yes.
Because there are some details that may not necessarily be very apparent.
Yes.
So you want to go through the design from start to finish. It's the same case with a contractor.
Yes.
You should be able to go through the design with the contractor so that they understand from your perspective of design.
So you're giving the intention of the design, and then you're making sure that everyone else who is working is working to achieve what you have intended.
Exactly. And I think that's the one cardinal thing that we need to emphasize, is that the purpose is for everyone to work together to achieve the client's dream.
Okay.
It's never to outshine each other or to blame each other or to feel, no, it's to work together to achieve the client's dream. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, I can tell that this is something that you experience a lot. What do you think the ignorance on the part of, well, how can the client be helped? Because like you said, a lot of people go into this not knowing what to expect from an architect. How can that be helped?
So I think before you embark on a project, before you even embark on the design, it's always important to research as much as possible what you need to know about a design. And I think a platform like this is great, because then people will know what they need to understand before they embark on design.
You hear that? We're
Yes.
useful.
You are useful, because when they know when they understand what they need to know. So do your research beforehand,
Yes.
not after the design. And I'll say
Yes.
this, like the Bill of Quantities experience. This is another experience I always have, where a client will come, you do the designs, you're done with the designs, they approve everything, you do the detailing, then they send it to all the family members, their friends, their colleagues who are architects, their other colleagues who are engineers, and then they give input at the end of the design. And then they come back now for changes. That's where the terms come in, because in the terms of conditions, I'll state that after the design has been finalized and signed off, any changes will attract a cost.
Of course.
Yes.
Because I would have finished that project and closed it off. So to start making changes to a completed project is a cost to me.
Yes.
I have to change not only the wall that they want to move, but the foundation that's related to that wall, and the windows that may be related to that wall, and the roof that's probably been carried by that wall.
Yes.
That's one thing that the client doesn't understand. The building works in, it's a monolithic structure. So every single component is connected and tied to each other. So you can't just move a wall. It will affect the next wall, it will affect the roof, it will affect the window. That's the impact of making changes after a design has been concluded.
Yeah.
Mind you, at the design stage, you give the client opportunity to review and consult as much as possible before they come back. When we get into the detailing, there's no room for changes. Well, there is room for changes to a great extent, to a certain extent, but not when the design has been signed off, and then you realize that no, you wanted a floor to ceiling window. So you come back and say, no, I wanted a floor to ceiling window. Meanwhile, you have already done a beam at 2.2 meters.
Yes.
So to do a floor to ceiling, you have to now figure out how will you support that roof, you see. So it's some of those things where clients want to consult after the fact.
Yeah.
So consultation of visit as many homes, 10, 100 homes, visit them. Don't come back after the design has been done and then you say, no, now I wanted my living room to be 10 by 10, now it's 6 by 5.
Yes.
And then you want to start making changes to that.
Yeah.
We hear a lot of pain.
Feel it.
We feel you. We feel you. But if it's any consolation, he's a counselor. So
I'm
he is
good.
available.
I can tell you're fine. You're fine. You're okay.
So just as we're we're
What?
going towards the end of the show. We're starting to wrap up. Maybe you can help our listeners and the people who watch the podcast. Just know, like, in your opinion, what do you think are the steps someone should take? They're thinking about building a house. They have it in their minds that this is the right journey for them to take. What do you think? Where should they start before they even come to these issues? You've spoken about the problems that happen in the process and whatnot. Where do you think that they should start?
So first of all, the first thing that you start with is the land. You understand the land that's available to you.
Yes.
That will inform the size of building that you can put on that piece of land.
Yeah.
You can't put a mansion on a 20 by 20 piece of land. So whatever piece of land you have will inform the building that you're
Yes.
going to put on.
Yes.
Secondly, you have to understand what you like, not what
Yeah.
your neighbor likes, not what your sister likes, what you like.
Yeah.
And one thing that many people neglect to consider is their personal lifestyles, because
Yes.
lifestyles differ.
Yes.
So there are people who are very interactive in the way they live in the home. There
Yeah.
are some who are very individual. You know, the husband is there, the wife is there. All those small things inform the ultimate design of your house.
Yes.
Because your house should be very comfortable for you to live in.
Yes.
You know, if
It's
I chat
yours
with my
after
kids,
all.
if I chat with my kids, yes, when I'm cooking, then put the TV room next to the kitchen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that the children should be interacting and you'll be with the family as you
you
are cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are people who are very formal, the way that they interact, maybe, so understand your lifestyle
Yeah.
and how you want your house to complement
Yeah.
that lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's on the design and the layout part.
Yeah.
And then visit as many built structures as possible so that you
Yeah.
also just get the gist of room sizes. You know,
Yes.
if the living room says 4 by 5, what does it look like
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a living space? You know, understand the room sizes.
Yeah.
If a bedroom says 3 by 3, what does it look like? What can I have in there?
Yeah.
So understand the room sizes. You can only understand by visiting a home that is already built and there's furniture in it and people are living in it, because then you understand how the circulation is.
Yeah.
You can actually, if you are close enough to the people, measure out those rooms so that when you come, you understand exactly what you're, you know, because people will come and ask for a 10 by 10 living room. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But because in their mind, 10 by 10 is what makes sense.
Yeah.
And when the house is up and they say, no, I didn't know the room was this big.
Yes.
So understand the room sizes before you commit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And understand the different professionals that are involved
Yes.
in the construction.
Yeah.
What's the role of the architect?
Yes.
Where do their responsibilities start and where do they end?
Where do they end? Yeah.
Which other professionals are coming in? Will you need an engineer? Will you need an electrical engineer? Will you
Yeah.
need a quantity surveyor?
Yeah.
Understand those and their roles and where they come in. It makes for a very good flow of a project.
Of a project.
And you get the best of everything, you know, rather than forcing it. You know, the build, some builder will tell you, no, I can also do bills. No, everyone has got their space.
He wants to be a jack of all
Yes.
trades.
Even me as an architect, I shouldn't tell you, oh, this is a double story. Just give me so much. I'll do the design. I'll also do the civil works.
Yeah.
No, I have my space and I should stick to it.
Exactly.
I shouldn't give you a design and a bill of quantities. I should be able to check the bills that a QS does
Yes.
are they conforming with the design? So everyone has their space. So understand what space the different professionals will occupy.
Yeah.
You can only build to the extent of your land.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you don't force a house. The land is limited. It's a limited resource. So when you have these boundaries, you can only build to the extent of that land.
Yeah.
So dream just as big as your piece of land.
And not beyond.
And not beyond. So basically, I think those are some of the key considerations people need to make before they embark on the design. But do as much research as possible. Furniture as well plays a big role. You know, if
Yes,
you wanted
yes.
a 10-seater dining table, make that clear to your architect.
Yes.
Because then they'll know how big
much
a dining room
space.
should be to
Yeah.
fit a 10-seater dining table.
Yeah.
If you want to have a cabinet or server, state that so that they know. If you want each bedroom to have a study table, make that very clear.
Yes.
The furniture will also inform the size. If
The
you don't
size.
have an idea of the actual sizes in terms of meters, the furniture will be able to inform
Yes.
the sizes and the layout of the room. So do a lot of research before you embark on the
Okay.
design.
In fact, a lot of what Barbara has said has been said somewhere. I'm just trying to remember where I've heard most of this stuff. I just can't. I'm sure it will come to me.
He hears
will come
it
to
every
me.
day from me.
It's so familiar.
Yeah.
Well, I think our time
That's
is
it.
up.
Yeah.
But Barbara,
So soon.
we're
I told you.
Yes.
I was a bit nervous. I said, how long? I said, no.
Yeah.
Before you know it, we'll be done.
We'll
and there
be
was no
done.
need for Mphangela to hold your hand.
And we'd love to have you back again on the show.
Certainly.
And if anyone has specific questions that they want to ask to an architect, we can have Barbara on again so that she can answer any questions anybody has. And we'd just like to thank you for joining us and being with us. It's been a fun time.
It has. And you can tell she is really good at what she does, and we'll
Yeah.
include her details in the show. So
Yes.
in case you want to get in touch with her, you can do that.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's the show for today. We'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
An Architect and a DJ Build a Home podcast is a Home Build Zambia production, recorded and produced in Lusaka. The show is hosted by Kalenga, he's the DJ, and me, Mphangela, I'm the architect. Video recording by Sharon Malama, music by Bless the Creative, technical support provided by Bless the Creative. You can find us on Instagram at home_build_Zambia or on our website homebuildzambia.com, or contact us by email podcast@homebuildzambia.com. Thank you for listening.